I often get the question, if someone has a rental, do they rent it out themselves or do they hire a property manager? Well, I would say if you're not really familiar about the rental laws and if you usually don't rent out properties and have a hard time vetting people, I would probably recommend you to hire a professional to do the work for you, because then this is what they do. They know real estate. They understand just the process. Now, if you have rental experience then and it's out of the area, then maybe have someone help you do the showings, vet out the client or the renter, and then at that point you could take over the monthly management yourself. How you could do that is you would obviously pay the property manager a fee up front just for their work. And then if you were to manage it yourself, then you would ask the tenant. What I usually do is I ask the tenant to either send me a Venmo or Zelle, and that works pretty great because then I get the money directly into my account. And if there's any problems with electrical, plumbing, or if you need a handyman, you just contact them and they coordinate it with you. Literally, that seems to work fine for me. But so the way I got my tenants out, so right now I'm in the property in Concord working on waiting for some people to come as I'm doing an interview. So I put blocks of time. So if I have someone that is interested in seeing the property, I'll post. If someone wants to see it at 4:45, I'll say I'll be here for an hour. Who can make it? I'll send messages to people who have sent me messages. I find Facebook Marketplace very helpful for finding tenants. I get really great responses. A lot of people contact me there. I've had a lot of great luck. If you haven't used Facebook Marketplace, you will see the power of it. It's super great. I highly recommend it. Now, what I usually do is I ask people I send them an email, or I provide an application, which is an application. Zillow has a rental application. Now, I ask them to give me a copy of their license or ID, 2 months proof of income, whether it's bank statements if they're self-employed, or if they are employed by a company, then the last 2 months W-2 for each person on the application. There's going to be 2 people that's going to be on the application. I ask it for both. And I generally ask for, what I do is then I ask for a credit score and credit history. So if they have a credit report, then I'll ask them to send me a credit report. You could get one free through Credit Karma. It will show the credit history and it will show credit scores. I'd like to see that, and it's free and it doesn't ding their credit. Generally, I'll just ask for those criterias. And if someone sends it to me by email and it's complete and they follow all instructions, then I am open to continuing the conversation with them to see to compare them with the other applicants, and then at that point I would make my decision. But if they do not complete the list of items and they send me incomplete items, then that tells me that they're not thorough, and I don't like that. Then I don't really continue the conversation, because I just thought maybe they didn't pay attention, and that's important for me. You're gonna know what is important for you, but these are things I look for, and it has worked with me. Some things I am a bit forgiving is if the credit history is not the greatest, but maybe they're upfront with me. They say, oh, they were unemployed, something happened, a life event happened, they got sick or something, and it impacted their income, and there was a period of time in their credit report that shows the impact, and they supply it with some explanation, then I understand, because then if everything else was on time until that time period, then I go, oh, they're being upfront, they're letting me know what's happening. Life happens, things happen, but it makes sense. Now, if it's just late payments periodically for the last few years, then that shows irresponsibility. So no, I don't find that forgiving. Those are just some things I look for, but I definitely put a human element in the process. I just want to make sure that people feel that it is business, but we are human beings. And if you come forward and you're honest, I had someone in the past tell me, hey, here's my whole portfolio, here's everything, here's our credit scores. We have bad credit. They told us why, gave me the whole spiel, and my intuition felt like they were honest people, and I felt good about them, and I read it out to them. No problems, had no issues. They were great. And so these are just some things that I do, maybe some tips that might be helpful for you. Let me know if you have any tips yourself that you want to share. When it comes to background checks, I think that's more limited these days. I think there's some new laws that are preventing background checks. But I think if you look at the overall picture, just see how you feel about the people, I think you find yourself in a good position if you just trust your gut, do the process correctly, don't skip a beat as far as what your list of criteria are, and put a human element to it also. People are human, things happen, but hopefully this is helpful.